Disclaimer, this video contains dramatized content. Not all details are verified. Viewer discretion advised. Is the justice system a game of popularity when it comes to powerful men? First Johnny Depp, now Diddy. But are they really being treated the same? In this video, I'll walk you through the timeline of both Johnny Depp's explosive courtroom battle and Diddy's current legal chaos. We'll expose what the media left out and show you how public opinion and fame might be reshaping justice right in front of us. Is this just another celebrity drama? Do these men really deserve public sympathy or condemnation? Could a regular person ever survive what Depp or Diddy are going through? Stick around, because toward the end, I'll uncover a disturbing legal pattern from both cases that could affect how abuse allegations are handled in the future, and how fame might tilt the scales of justice more than the law itself. Johnny Depp lost movies. Diddy lost his image. But both had one thing in common. They were kings of their world, until women close to them accused them of horrifying things. Is the Diddy story following the same script as Depp's? Let's rewind to the beginning. Before the scandals, before the lawsuits, when they were untouchable. Before any controversy, both men had climbed to the very top of their fields. Diddy, the music mogul who couldn't be stopped. Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka Diddy. Whatever name he chose, one thing was clear. He owned the music industry. He founded Bad Boy Records in 1993. He discovered and managed Notorious B.I.G., one of hip-hop's most iconic voices. He launched hits like I'll Be Missing You, Mo Money Mo Problems, and It's All About the Benjamins. He wasn't just behind the scenes. He was front and center, appearing in music videos, fashion ads, and on the red carpet. He expanded into fashion, Sean John, vodka, Ciroc, TV, making the band, and parties that defined celebrity culture. In short, Diddy wasn't just a businessman, he was the business. Johnny Depp, on the other hand, was Hollywood's most mysterious star. He played outsiders, loners, and dreamers, from Edward Scissorhands to Captain Jack Sparrow. He didn't just act, he transformed. He became the characters people couldn't forget. He worked with legendary directors like Tim Burton and became one himself in terms of influence. At one point, Depp was the highest paid actor in the world. Like Diddy, Depp also ventured beyond his main job, forming bands, producing films, and being the face of brands like Dior Sauvage. Both had the Midas touch. Everything they touched turned to gold. Until it didn't. The women who changed their stories forever. Cassie versus Diddy. In 2023, Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura filed a lawsuit accusing him of physical abuse, forced sexual acts, emotional manipulation, constant surveillance, drug-fueled violence. Within 24 hours, Diddy settled. That shocked people. If he was innocent, why settle so fast? Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp. In 2016, actress Amber Heard filed for divorce from Johnny Depp. Then she filed a restraining order, accusing him of domestic violence, verbal abuse, substance-fueled rage. Depp denied everything, but the media painted him as a violent man. Studios dropped him. Fans turned. He became toxic. Their careers took immediate damage. Depp's fallout, a global shaming. Disney dropped him from Pirates of the Caribbean 6. Warner Bros. Replaced him in Fantastic Beasts. Major publications branded him a fallen idol. His legal team said he lost over $40 million in potential earnings. Diddy's fallout, a growing firestorm. After Cassie's lawsuit, multiple women filed new accusations from the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. Diddy was sued under New York's Adult Survivors Act. He faced public backlash as footage emerged of him beating Cassie in a hotel hallway. Brands and networks distanced themselves. Some even pulled his content. What's worse? The public now wonders, if Cassie's story is true, what else happened behind closed doors? Their public images collapsed almost overnight. Depp from beloved to belittled. From quirky genius to alleged wife beater. The change was violent and fast. Social media began using hashtags like #CancelJohnnyDepp and #JusticeForAmber. His fans stayed loyal, but his employers didn't. Diddy, From party king to alleged predator. Diddy's name was once associated with champagne, Grammys, and fashion. Now it's being mentioned with words like trafficking, abuse, assault, and rape. Public opinion shifted brutally. Some believe him, many don't. Whispers that grew louder. Here's the creepiest part of the story. There were warning signs all along. In Depp's case, his past relationships were described as chaotic. Allegations of jealousy, substance abuse, and violence existed before Amber. Crew members and ex-girlfriends described mood swings and breakdowns. Stories had circulated for decades. In 1999, he was arrested for a nightclub shooting. Charges dropped, but his image was stained. His ex, Kim Porter, died mysteriously in 2018. Many claimed she was about to release a tell-all book. A former producer once said, "There's a dark side to Diddy nobody wants to touch." It's not like these stories appeared out of nowhere. They were always there. We just didn't want to believe them. Controlling and manipulative? Amber claimed Depp was controlling. She said he monitored her roles. He allegedly didn't want her doing certain films or scenes. She claimed he isolated her from friends and family. Cassie claimed Diddy controlled her every move. He allegedly drugged her, recorded her intimate moments without consent. She said he tracked her phone, hired private investigators, and even beat her in public. Most shocking, she said he hired male sex workers and forced her to perform for him. After years of back-and-forth accusations, Depp finally sued Heard for defamation in 2022. The trial became a global event. Millions watched the courtroom drama. Depp won, but the damage to both was immense. Cassie's lawsuit was settled in just 24 hours. No depositions, no trial, no statements under oath. But that didn't stop others. More women filed lawsuits, including a rape accusation from a woman who said she was 17 at the time. Diddy denied it, but silence doesn't always mean peace. Both Johnny Depp and Diddy were accused by their girlfriends. Johnny Depp was accused of hurting Amber Heard, and Diddy was accused of abuse and worse by Cassie. When the news came out, the media quickly reacted and many people took sides. Johnny Depp went to court and fought back with a countersuit. But Diddy settled the case fast without going to court yet. People were split. Some fans supported them while others did not. Both lost jobs. Johnny Depp had movies taken away, and Diddy lost deals with brands. Johnny Depp has started working again in some smaller projects, but Diddy's future is still not clear because more lawsuits might happen. This shows that when famous people are accused, they often face quick bad media, divided opinions, legal fights, losing work, and a hard time getting back. Why these patterns keep happening? This isn't just about two men. It's about power and protection. For years, celebrities could hide behind fame. PR teams controlled the narrative. Victims were told to stay silent, and fans were too loyal to listen. But now, social media changed everything. Victims have platforms. The world doesn't wait for trials. They judge you in minutes. If Johnny Depp was innocent and fought in court to clear his name, and if Diddy was innocent, why settle so quickly? Is he trying to avoid a messy trial or hide something darker? Both Depp and Diddy had everything. Both were accused of horrible things. One fought publicly. One stayed silent. But only one got a chance to rebuild his image. Will Diddy? Or has the world already decided? What do you think? Comment now. Cassie wasn't some stranger accusing a celebrity. She was the girl we saw beside Diddy for years. They met when she was 19. He was already a powerful mogul in his 30s. Their relationship lasted over a decade on and off. She gave up her music career, her independence, her voice. And now, years later, she was finally telling the world what it really cost her. She accused him of rape, forced encounters with male sex workers, physical abuse in hotels, in homes, in public, drugging her without consent, secretly recording her during intimate moments, controlling her phone, her finances, her body. And she said she stayed silent for so long because she was afraid. Let that land for a second. Because many women watching felt something shift. They'd stayed in toxic relationships too. They told themselves, he'll change. They'd smiled in pictures while dying inside. Cassie's words didn't just expose Diddy. They mirrored the pain of thousands of women watching. Then came the settlement. 24 hours later, Diddy could have denied it. He could have fought back in court like Johnny Depp, but he didn't. Instead, within a single day, he gave her a private settlement. No public defense. No cross-examination. Just silence. That silence, it was loud. And suddenly, the floodgates opened. Other women stepped forward. Cassie's case triggered a domino effect, like Amber's op-ed once did. Here's what happened after Cassie. A woman sued Diddy for trafficking and assault in the 90s. Another woman said she was raped by him at age 17 in New York. A former employee described a culture of fear at Bad Boy Records. Background figures, dancers, stylists, bodyguards began hinting that they'd seen things too. One case turned into two. Two became five. And suddenly, the headlines weren't about a lawsuit. They were about a pattern. Let's compare this with what happened when Amber Heard first accused Johnny Depp. After Amber went public, people questioned her story, but other women started coming forward, not about Johnny, but about their own abusers. It triggered a new wave of #MeToo stories. The media got louder. And Johnny's silence made things worse. Now look at Diddy. After Cassie's lawsuit, people remembered old rumors. Alleged victims came out of hiding. Diddy's name started trending, not in a good way. News anchors talked about decades of secrets. And his silence made things worse. Women could see themselves in Cassie. Cassie wasn't loud. She wasn't dramatic. She was the soft girl who was always there, but never spoke much. And that made her story hit harder. Because how many women have given up dreams for a man, stayed quiet in a controlling relationship, lost themselves while trying to be enough for someone? Cassie's story was about a powerful man, yes, but underneath, it was about a woman reclaiming her truth. And for your female audience, that's not just a headline, that's healing. Let's talk law for a second. New York passed something called the Adult Survivors Act. It gave people 1 year to sue their abusers, no matter how long ago it. That window closed in November 2023. So when Cassie filed her lawsuit in November 2023, it was like the final countdown. She didn't wait. She didn't miss it. She timed it like a woman who was done being silent. That law opened the door, and she walked through it, and others followed. Remember when the media adored Diddy? Every red carpet, every award show, every party. Now, the same outlets that once praised him were now digging through his past. Old interviews were reanalyzed. Past partners were contacted. PR teams panicked. The man who controlled the narrative suddenly wasn't in control anymore. For men, Diddy was the alpha. Rich, smooth, powerful. But for women, he represented something deeper. The boyfriend you trusted, who later became a stranger. The guy who said, "I love you," but made you feel small. The man who smiled for the cameras, but broke you in private. And when Cassie said that was him, women felt it. Power protects until it doesn't. Diddy had money, lawyers, influence, fame. So did Johnny Depp. But neither could stop the truth once it started coming out. Because the truth has one rule. Once it escapes, it doesn't go back in the box. Cassie wasn't the only one. She was the first one brave enough. That's what hit people hardest. Once Cassie spoke, everyone else realized they weren't alone. Just like with Amber, whether you believed her or not, she lit a fire. And whether you believe Cassie or not, that fire is burning now. Most women watching didn't need the hotel video. They didn't need the lawsuit. They already knew. From instinct, from experience, from survival. Because they've seen what charm can cover. They've lived through it wasn't that bad. They've had friends whisper things they weren't ready to say out loud. So when Cassie finally did, it shook the ground. When TMZ released footage of Diddy beating her in a hotel hallway, May 2024, all the people who doubted her went silent. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok flooded with posts like, "I believe Cassie now. She survived that for years? That wasn't a one-time thing." Suddenly, people realized she wasn't exaggerating. She was surviving. Cassie said she felt like she was being watched, controlled, that he would record her, even during her most vulnerable moments. She said she wasn't just abused. She was turned into a prisoner in her own life. Can you imagine smiling at events while wondering if the man next to you would explode later that night? That was her reality. And now it's our responsibility to look at it for what it is. Cassie broke the silence. Others followed. The media shifted. The fans wavered. The lawsuits multiplied. But now, the question isn't just, did Diddy do it? It's this. How many women had to stay quiet before one finally screamed loud enough for the world to hear? Well, one question more. The Johnny Depp comeback versus Diddy's collapse. Will the industry forgive both? Let's talk about this. Johnny Depp lost roles, but won sympathy. When Amber wrote her op-ed in 2018, Johnny's career crashed fast. Lost Fantastic Beasts. Paused from Pirates of the Caribbean. Brands distanced themselves. Tabloids ran wild. But then he fought back. Publicly. Loudly. On camera. And for 6 weeks, people watched him cry, laugh, tell his story. They saw him as real, as broken but honest. That trial gave him something Diddy never had. A second chance in front of the world. Diddy settled, silently, repeatedly. Cassie's lawsuit settled in 24 hours. No testimony. No emotional apology. No vulnerability. Just lawyers, money, and sealed statements. Then came video proof. TMZ's shocking hotel footage. But still, Diddy stayed silent. Let's compare public behavior. Depp versus Diddy. Johnny Depp spoke out and denied the accusations in court while promising to tell the truth. Diddy stayed quiet and did not talk about the accusations publicly. Legally, Depp sued the other side for defamation, but Diddy settled the case quickly without going to trial. Johnny Depp's public image was emotional and humble, showing he was hurt, while Diddy seemed cold, distant, and defensive. Depp's trial was shown on TV and got a lot of attention, but Diddy's case was handled quietly, with no public trial. For their careers, Depp made a comeback with big projects like a Dior campaign and a film at Cannes, while Diddy lost partnerships and faced more public criticism. Depp still has millions of fans supporting him, but Diddy's fan support is mixed or has decreased. Here's the truth. Women watching the Depp trial related to both sides. Some believed Amber, some believed Johnny. But both felt real, human, flawed, emotional. That emotion, it creates connection. Diddy never gave that. He stayed in the background. His team handled everything. No tears, no admissions, just silence. And in silence, people project their worst fears. Timing also mattered. Depp's trial happened in 2022, when the world was glued to screens, hungry for stories. People watched it like Netflix. Every witness went viral. TikTok edits of Depp crying or joking hit millions of views. It became an event, not just a case. Diddy's accusations happened after the Adult Survivors Act window closed in 2023, and the public wasn't entertained. They were disturbed, especially when that hotel video dropped. No memes, no fan edits, just shock. What about the comeback rules in Hollywood? Let's break it down. Hollywood has an unwritten rule book when it comes to comebacks. To return after a scandal, you need at least 3 things. 1. Public accountability, apology, trial. 2. Time away, a real break from fame. 3. A redemption arc, some kind of healing or growth. Depp did all 3. I lost everything because of lies, but I still believe in truth. He vanished for 2 years, then returned with dignity, not drama. Now, compare that to Diddy. No apology, still posting on social media, still denying through PR, still acting like nothing happened. And that refusal to shift tone is why Hollywood hasn't welcomed him back. The double standard. Fame protects until it doesn't. Let's be real. Diddy was more powerful than Depp, at least in business. He wasn't just a performer. He was a mogul. Clothing lines, vodka brands, record labels. That kind of power protects men. For a while. But once one woman speaks and evidence follows, the fall is faster. And for your female audience, this hits a nerve. Because many have watched, bosses abuse their position, boyfriends act differently behind closed doors, powerful men rewrite the narrative while women stay silent. Diddy's story isn't just about fame. It's about how long people are willing to believe charm over truth. Why Depp had female support and Diddy doesn't. This part is crucial. Depp, even at his worst, had ex-partners defend him. Winona Ryder, Vanessa Paradis, even his daughter Lily Rose stayed loyal. That told the public. Maybe he's not what she says he is. But Diddy? Cassie said he hurt her. Video said she was telling the truth. Other women echoed her pain. No major female figure has stood up to defend Diddy. Not even industry allies. And that silence is damning. Behind the music, why fans are heartbroken. Diddy gave us anthems, soundtracks to our lives. Missing You, I'll Be Missing You. Last Night, I Need a Girl. Now, knowing the man behind them, it hurts. It's like discovering your favorite book was written by someone cruel. It's not just disappointment, it's a kind of grief. The career path forward. Is there any redemption for Diddy? Let's ask the hard question. Can Diddy recover like Depp did? Short answer, no. Not without something big. If he wants to come back, here's what he'd need. 1. A public statement. Raw, emotional, real. 2. A pause. No partying, no posting. Just silence and reflection. 3. Support from trusted women and not paid spokespeople. 4. Accountability. Not just legally, but emotionally. Right now, he's done none of that, which is why his downfall feels like a full collapse, not just a PR hit. Audience relatability. We've seen this before. To your mostly female viewers, this isn't new. They've known men like Diddy, charming, gift-giving, loving, until they weren't. And when the truth finally comes out, those men act like they're the victims. Johnny, for better or worse, acted like a man trying to tell his truth. Diddy feels like a man trying to cover his tracks. That emotional difference, it matters. Let's not forget, video changed everything. Cassie's lawsuit was powerful. But the video made it undeniable. We saw Diddy grab her, slam her, drag her like she was nothing, and it wasn't a stranger's word. It was her. The same woman we saw smiling in his arms years ago. That moment destroyed any remaining, maybe he didn't do it, narratives. Depp got his comeback. Diddy's losing everything. But the real question is, does the public forgive or just forget when the man is charming enough? And for women who've lived through emotional or physical. How do we make sure the next Cassie doesn't have to wait 10 years to be believed? This isn't just about Diddy, or Cassie, or Hollywood. It's about how women feel watching this unfold. In 2025, still scared to speak. Still afraid they won't be believed. Because behind every viral case, there are millions of silent stories. Now we'll explore how stories like Cassie's affect women in real life. Relationships, trust, trauma, and healing. And why speaking out still feels risky in 2025. Why women didn't need the video to believe her. Let's be honest. When Cassie filed her lawsuit, most women didn't need evidence. They already knew. They've seen that pattern before. Love bombing, control disguised as care, isolation dressed as protection, explosive anger after calm. The video only confirmed what many felt in their gut. Because abuse doesn't always leave bruises, but it always leaves scars on the soul. Cassie's silence was familiar. She stayed quiet for years, so do most women. Not because they're weak, but because no one would believe them. The abuser had more power. The love was real, even if the pain was too. They thought it was their fault. They were tired. Cassie smiling in old photos? We've done that too. Posting pictures with someone who makes you feel small. Because pretending feels safer than telling the truth. Why perfect victims don't exist. When women speak out, the world wants them to be perfect. No messy past, no previous relationships, no alcohol, no modeling, no dancing, no mistakes. Cassie didn't fit that mold. She was beautiful, sexy, confident, but behind the scenes, she was controlled, hurt, silenced. And that's exactly why many female viewers related. Because being strong on the outside doesn't mean you're safe on the inside. What the Diddy Cassie story unlocked in women, thousands of women wrote online. This gave me flash. I thought I was over it until I saw the video. He used to slam me just like that. I believed her before I saw it. Because I was her. Even if your ex wasn't famous, even if the world didn't see it, your story matters just as much. That quiet pain you carry, it's real and valid, and you don't have to hide it anymore. When the abuser is loved by everyone else, this hits the hardest. Because Diddy wasn't a stranger. He was the guy who made us dance, who cried about Biggie, who bought his mom a car. He was the good guy. So when Cassie spoke out, many women whispered to themselves. No one believed me either, because he was charming. The hardest abusers to leave aren't the violent ones. They're the ones who smile in public, who everyone says would never do that. But they did, and you know it, and your heart knows it, even if your mouth still struggles to say it. This story made women remember the Cassie Diddy scandal wasn't just gossip. It was a trigger. Suddenly, women felt sick, feverish, headache, sleepless nights. They weren't just sad, they were reliving trauma. That's why this episode isn't just entertainment. It's emotional labor. For every woman who covered bruises with makeup, said, I tripped when she didn't, texted, I love you to avoid a fight, prayed someone would believe her. This wasn't just Cassie's story. It was theirs. Emotional fatigue and why it feels like fever. Maybe after watching all this, you felt exhausted, heavy, like you're sick, but you don't know why. That's not weakness. That's emotional fever. Your body is remembering what your brain tried to forget. You're not dramatic. You're human. And your nervous system is saying, this feels familiar. I'm not okay. Drink water, rest, breathe, because healing isn't linear. And this story reopens wounds you've tried to close. The questions women are afraid to ask. Why did I stay with him so long? Why didn't I tell anyone? Was it even abuse if he never hit me? Why do I still miss him sometimes? These aren't shameful questions. They're brave ones. Cassie probably asked them too. Love doesn't cancel pain, and pain doesn't cancel love. You can miss someone and still know they hurt you. You can feel sick and still want closure. You can cry and still be strong. Let's talk about the silent support. When Cassie's video dropped, something powerful happened. Women started messaging each other quietly. Did you see it? This reminds me of you. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. I believe you. That silent sisterhood, it's more powerful than any court verdict. Because sometimes all a woman needs is for one other woman to say, you're not crazy, that really happened. And I see you. Yes, this story is on the news. Yes, it's celebrity gossip. Yes, people will forget in a few weeks, but you won't. Because it cracked something open. A scar, a secret, a storm you've been holding back. And maybe, just maybe, it gave you a little courage. To tell your story, to leave, to heal, to breathe. And that makes you powerful. If you feel off lately, if your head hurts, your chest aches, or your energy is gone, that's not random. That's your body processing emotional truth. And Cassie's story, while painful, might be the mirror that finally showed you. What happened to me matters. How brands, labels, and media responded, and whether they actually care about women's safety or are just protecting their reputations. Is the industry listening to women or just protecting itself? Cassie's story shook the world. The video hit harder than anyone expected. And statements, apologies, brands distancing, executives panicking, and fans asking, are they listening to women now or just covering their tracks? Because if you've ever spoken your truth and been ignored until it became public, you know exactly what this feels like. When silence turns into strategy. For years, the music industry turned a blind eye. People in Diddy's circle knew. They whispered. They warned new girls behind the scenes. But nobody said it out loud. Because power was protection. Because money silences. Because reputation beats justice. Every time. Until now. Now the evidence is undeniable. Now silence doesn't look classy. It looks complicit. So the industry, they're not just speaking. They're spinning the "we had no idea" lie. After the video, here's what we saw. Former colleagues deleting old posts. Companies issuing cold, pre-written PR statements. News outlets suddenly treating Cassie's case like breaking news A. But here's the thing. They knew. They all knew. And they stayed quiet when it mattered most. And now, they're only speaking up because the world forced them to. Just like many women have experienced in their own lives. Nobody believed you until you showed proof. Your pain didn't matter until it made headlines. They only cared when it cost them something. When brands use feminism as PR. Suddenly, labels that sign Diddy are posting about believing women. Streaming services are quietly removing collaborations. Influencers are choosing new soundtracks. It might look like support. But ask yourself, where were they when Cassie filed the lawsuit? Where were they when the settlement was hushed? Where were they for the other women who came forward? Because true support isn't reactive. It's proactive. It means standing beside women before the public turns. The fear of accountability, not justice. Let's be honest. Most industries don't fear abuse. They fear being caught. And after this video, they're scared. Not because they care about women, but because they care about investors, reputation, share prices, lawsuits, boycotts. Justice isn't driving them. Damage control is. And women who've been through abuse, they recognize that energy instantly. It's the same one their abuser had after being exposed. Apologies not for what they did, but because they got caught. Cassie's case as a cautionary tale for corporates. The shift in tone wasn't compassion, it was fear. Cassie's bravery forced the industry to realize if it can happen to Diddy, it can happen to any of us. So what did they do? They scrambled. They edited old videos. They unfollowed. They ghosted. But not out of allyship, out of self-preservation. And once again, women had to watch their pain be treated like PR. Why so many women are tired of performative support. Posting "we stand with survivors" doesn't mean anything if your CEO parties with abusers. If your company signs deals with predators, if your media team protects powerful men, women are tired. Tired of brands using feminism for likes. Tired of selective outrage. Tired of justice only happening after a scandal goes viral. They want more than hashtags. They want safer workspaces, actual consequences, listening when no one's recording. Because this isn't a trend, it's a lifetime of trauma. The reputation cleanup playbook. Every woman who watched how the industry responded noticed this. Step 1, say nothing. Step 2, wait for social media reaction. Step 3, release a vague statement. Step 4, remove content. Step 5, pretend you always supported her. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? It's the same playbook some women see in their own lives. Friends who ghost you after you leave an abusive partner. Families who say, "Stay quiet, it's private." Workplaces that protect predators until complaints go public. It's not just the industry. It's a system. And women know it. But something is changing. Slowly. Despite the performative parts, something is shifting. Because of Cassie. Because of you. This time, women didn't just cry in silence. They spoke. They posted. They shared old memories. They said, "This happened to me too." And the collective noise became too loud to ignore. Now, women are calling out past enablers. Media outlets are being held accountable. Labels are losing fans if they protect abusers. Victims aren't as alone anymore. That's not just PR. That's pressure. And it's working. For every woman watching quietly, this is for you. If you've been watching this unfold with a racing heart, if you felt that familiar pit in your stomach, if it brought back memories you thought you'd buried, you are not overreacting. You are not alone. You don't need to go public. You don't need to share your story on Instagram. But know this, what happened to you matters, even if no one believed you yet. And if the industry won't protect you, we will. This generation of women, they're watching, they're speaking, and they're changing the game, one truth at a time. The industry might be slow. It might still protect power. But women, we protect each other now. Because one Cassie is brave, but millions of us, we're unstoppable. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed right now, if your heart feels heavy or even a bit feverish thinking about Cassie's story, that's okay. It means you care deeply. It means you're human. You're not just watching a scandal unfold. You're witnessing a long overdue moment where women's voices are finally shaking the walls of a world that tried to silence them. And maybe, just maybe, you're thinking about the times you felt unheard, when your own story was brushed aside or dismissed. I want you to remember this. Your feelings are valid. Your pain matters. Your truth deserves to be seen and heard. Sisterhood and strength, this isn't just Cassie's fight. It's our fight, every woman, everywhere. When one woman stands up, she lights a flame for thousands to follow. When we lift each other, we become stronger than the walls built to keep us quiet. Even if the industry is slow to change, even if the system stumbles, we, as women, will be the unstoppable force that demands better. So, if you're feeling a little feverish or fragile tonight, lean into it. Let yourself feel the strength behind that emotion. Because of that fire inside you is the same fire that sparks revolutions, changes stories, and builds new futures. And here's the most important truth to carry with you. You are not alone. We are with you in every silent tear, in every whispered truth, and in every bold voice rising to be heard. The road ahead might be long. There will be setbacks. There will be moments when it feels like no one is listening. But every time a woman stands up, every time a voice breaks the silence, we move closer to a world where respect, justice, and safety are not optional, but guaranteed. So hold your head high, stay fierce, and know this. Your story matters. Your voice is powerful. And together, we will rewrite the future. Make sure you're subscribed, because if you miss that, you'll miss the full truth behind this legal drama.